together live show. So I apologize about that. I didn't really know I was going to do a live session until I said, you know what? Why don't we do a live session? I've got a few minutes here. Let's just throw this together. So theme of this one is going to be answering some questions. I'm going to be previewing a couple of the new Diecast Masters models. All of them will have their own review here in very due course, very soon. So make sure to stay tuned to that. But as a treat for all of you that are joining me for the live session, I figured I would show you them now, show you at least a couple of them now. So first off, as we wait for more people to join the room, check this out. So this is the DM 150th scale 794 AC mining truck. This thing is huge. I mean, it is just freaking massive. I'd say it's very comparable in size to the 797, despite it being slightly smaller by its name, of course, the 794. Lineage of these go back, of course, to the, what was it? The, not Oshkosh, totally drawing a brain fade here. The Terex trucks. So they kind of look a little bit similar to that, at least from the front view. So let's go ahead and pull up some chat here. Christian says hello. So as we go through this, guys, be sure to send your questions or your thoughts in the chat. That'll give me an opportunity to interact with you guys in real time. That's why I do these live sessions anyway, is to interact with you. So when you get this thing out of the tin, well, first off, you have an empty tin that you can use as a massive cookie jar. I mean, I cannot tell you how big this thing is. It is massive. You also get a couple cool accessories, such as a little pointer tool, which is nice. Obviously, everyone's favorite figure, Bob. And then we have 2 wheel chocks, which I find hilarious because they're so small. But you do see these with these large mining trucks. In fact, you most often find them right here, which is where they go. So let's see if they will fit in our little holding spot. There's one, and here is the second one. Yeah, perfect, just like that. If you wanted to, you could put the operator figure inside the cab, obviously, and I'm told, I'm literally checking this out for the first time with you guys. So you're getting my reactions in real time here. So I'm told that both sides of this door, or both sides of the cab door, do open. So here's the operator's side. So we can put him in the seat if we want to. And then the trainer's door, the passenger door, I'm told that opens as well. And it does. Very nice. Not sure how well that's coming across in camera, but both doors, here's the other one, swings open really wide. So let's put our guy in. The actual driver's side, or the left-hand side, it doesn't open to as aggressive as an angle as the passenger side does because it clashes with the handrails. But it would be nice if the top portion of the cab popped off, only because it'd probably be easier to get him in the cab that way. But let's see if we can get him in his seat. Maybe, maybe not. At least get him seated comfortably inside. Probably like the rest of... There we go. Well, he's in there a bit. Yeah, it probably would be best to have the top of this cab come off, because you're going to spend a pretty fair amount of time getting him inside this cab and finagling him around. Get him inside to fit. There we go. All right, he's inside the cab. I don't know if you can see that, but finally he's in. So, all right, looks like we've got some messages here. Nicholas says hello. He says he'd like to drive a dump truck when he gets older, so good for him. So welcome to the live stream, bud. Glad you could join us. Again, as for the rest of you, feel free to comment or ask your questions as we go throughout. So now we've got Bob, our operator figure, inside the cab, although it took a little bit of effort, but he's now in there. We'll close the trainer's door as well. You have, obviously this is an electric drive mining truck, so you have all of your electrical components like your radial grid and such over here. The engine door opens too, engine compartment. So this is a smaller size compartment than is on the 797, but it also opens on the 797. So there you go. There's a look inside, as you can see, as our wheel chocks have come out of their holder. Probably just leave them out for the rest of the video. All right, let's get caught up on chat. Christopher Steele, welcome to the conversation. I wish Diecast Masters or some of these other companies would make more road construction models for us U.S. collectors. I'm with you, Christopher. I know that just a couple years ago, they really had a heavy emphasis on making road construction models. I think it was 2019 when they came out with 2 rollers, 2 coplaners, 2 asphalt pavers, and then the mini roller and the soil compactor. So they added quite a lot to the range that year. I don't know in the immediate future if they plan on adding a lot, but I know it's something that they're always looking into. Unfortunately, the bottom line is that you got to make what sells and also what Cat wants made. And excavators will always sell, dozers will always sell, and surprisingly, large mining equipment typically does pretty well commercially as well. So whatever you make, you got to make sure it sells pretty well. And unfortunately, as much as I have been clamoring and asking for a road reclaimer and other specialized pieces of road construction equipment, it's got to be popular with the masses. So that's the bottom line. All right. Got another question from Bill. Do you have any Gradle models? I do not. I don't have any Gradle models yet in any scale, surprisingly. I would like to add 1 in 1/50th scale, particularly the rubber-tired version. But every time I get close to buying one, they disappear. So, plus the prices are just crazy expensive. All right, let's continue taking a look at this while you guys get more of your questions in. Thank you for your questions so far. Keep them coming. Check this out. So usually on these large mining trucks, they implement working suspension. And as you can see here, it's no different. Makes you wonder what in the world is going on in that cab. You have metal rock deflectors between the rear wheels, which is awesome. Safety latch up here. You have your lights and decals all throughout. This is really an impressive truck, quite honestly. Back over here, your radial grid, your load indicator, which is 000. It'd be cool. How cool would it be if, I mean, it would be unbelievably expensive to do. How cool would it be if they actually made the load indicator work? Like, you could, depending on how much simulated dirt you put, it would change the load indicator weight number on the side of one of these trucks. How cool would that be? And that brings us around back to the front. So we've got our staircase that folds down here, staircase that folds down over here. These small gateways open. I think there are 3 different ones that open. This one swings open as well. And then this one back here swings open. And Lumber asked me, do I have the Cat 352 Ultra High Reach Demolition Excavator? I do, and that is going to be the second model in this preview video that you guys that have tuned in are going to get a preview of. So we are going to finish up this one, and then you guys are going to get a look at the 352. How cool does that sound? So, finishing up with this. This has 3-stage cylinders on it, so you can get a pretty aggressive dump height on here. So good, in fact, that it goes off the screen. Here's 1, 2, and 3. So there is your 3-stage dump cylinders. Really like the rubber that they used because sometimes the rubber ends up being too shiny, but I think this is perfect. You can see that it's actually you know, realistic looking rubber. Only other thing I could ask for is, and again, it would be an extra cost for both them and in turn for everybody that has to buy these, is the fact that, you know, we have a licensed tire maker, Goodyear, Michelin, something like that. All right, guys who think, sorry, that comment just disappeared. Diecast Masters make a high rail back. They make 2 high rail backhoes. They're actually excavators. All right. So that is the 794. You guys ready for the 352? Let's bring them out. Take a look at them. Dun, dun, dun. There's the box. Here is the tin. What do you guys think? Initial reactions? What do you think of the picture? How about that one? That's awesome. That is really, really good. So, do you guys have collectors or friends that have been waiting to see the 352? Make sure you tell them that we're taking a preview look of it right now. Live here on YouTube. All right. So, on the back, there's the standard version, which the Demolition version, of course. And then, if you didn't know, you can also have this set up as an Excavator version. Both are included in this box. And then here is another picture of the Excavator, all your specification details. But who wants to read that right now? Let's crack it open. Okay. I'm not intentionally trying to add to the suspense, but let's go through the catalog because this is the first model that has the 2021 catalog. So, here's what we can expect. I don't think that we're going to see many more of these before year end. So let me say that again. I don't think we're going to see many more of these before the end of 2021. But I do think that we will see them, hopefully, sometime in 2022. So, let me pull up chat before I get started. All right. So, looks like you guys are really liking this so far. All right. Didn't miss anything too terribly important. All right. So, we have the D3 up here. We have the D5 Fire Dozer. D5 LGP with a VPAT. All those are 1/50th scale. The Black Dozer is out right now, and I just posted that review yesterday, so if you want to see that, take a look at my YouTube page. Here's the 798, not to be confused with the 794 that you just saw. Here's the D5 LGP VPAT. Again, these dozers, these 4, are not out yet. Then on this page, we have the 2 6060s, which are 187 scale models. I personally cannot wait for these. Cautiously optimistic and hopeful that at least one of them might be here before the end of the year, but I'm not holding my breath with the way shipping is. So even if they're here, quote unquote, meaning that they're on a ship outside the port of Long Beach, it doesn't mean they're going to get offloaded and at distributors before the end of the year, which is frustrating, but that's not DM's fault. Going through here, here's the 323 next gen with the attachments, which we've seen. And then here's the 352, which we're about to see. All these excavators we've seen before. For those asking about the railroad backhoe excavator, here you go. There they are. There's one in safety yellow, and then one in cat black and yellow. Moving on. I think that's it for Highline Series new models. Yeah, that's it. Not pictured in here is the Scraper Evolution set. That is to come. It is being made. Yeah, that's it for the good stuff. All right, let's keep going. So in here you have instructional sheets on how to put the different booms on. Now the way this works is you need screws. Well, actually you have the screws, you need a screwdriver. And you need some patience because there's several different sizes of screws included with the model. And at least with the excavator boom, you have optional position 1 or optional position 2. So it's 2 different positions that you can pin the excavator boom on. And then when you're doing the demolition boom, you got to follow these steps step by step. And again, when I actually do the review video, I'll go through this step by step for you guys, especially for the newcomers that might be new to this. Here is the other sheet, shows you how to clip the bucket on and off the quick coupler, which again, it's actually already on the boom. So unless you want to take it off, just leave it on. All right. In the first layer of foam rubber, we have our excavator boom. Here we go. With one of the shears attached. Now, I'm not sure which is which. I got to look into it closer. But one of these shears, I've been told, is a demolition shear, and the other shear is a concrete pulverizer. What the difference is, couldn't tell you. Not a demolition guy. Somebody can tell me what the difference is. I assume that you could probably use, you know, both for the same job. So here's the shear that comes attached, which is a Cat MP322. And then here's the optional shear, which is an MP324. That's the other one. We have a pointer. We have a bag of small parts, including bob. These black pieces are optional. They are if you want to lock the boom in an up position in your display case so that it doesn't bleed down over time. And then a rear end load of screws. Probably at least a dozen different screws in here. Okay, that's the first layer. Second layer, we have our excavator boom and bucket and our stand. Again, most of you guys are familiar with this, but this is to put your boom on that you're not using on the excavator. And finally, give myself some room here, we have our excavator. There she is. Okay, let me move the box. Let me get caught up on chat. Okay. Can you put the bucket on the long reach boom? I don't know. I don't think you can because the long reach boom does not have a quick coupler. If you look at the end of the boom, yeah, it doesn't have a quick coupler. It has a screwed in connection. You see that? You have the screws here, whereas this has your standard quick coupler for buckets and such. So you probably, on this one, you probably could put, you know, hammers and different, you know, standard excavator attachments, but I'm fairly confident in saying you can't put the bucket on the end of this without some heavy modification, which I would not recommend doing. Not to a $300 model. Okay. What are some of the other comments before we go any further? Christian says, so cool. Christopher says, that's an incredible model. Where do you get the demolition excavator? You guys can get this from your authorized Diecast Masters distributor. So places like Ed's Diecast Shed, Buffalo Road Imports, 3000 Toys, ConstructionDiecast.com. The list goes on and on. Those are U.S. retailers. Lumber says it will not be here until December in New Zealand. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Hopefully the time will go by soon. Steven said, just came to say hi. Well, hello, Steven. Thank you for saying hi. Richard says, I've got a bad one. Okay, why do I have a bad one, Richard? Christian, also, anyone think that Diecast Masters should make a long-reach excavator? Well, this is a long-reach demolition excavator, but I know what you mean. You want a long-reach, like, dredging-style excavator. Okay, so we have all the components out here on the table. Now, I'm not going to screw anything in because that's just going to take way too much time, but let's start out with the details here. So the tracks, looks like the panels are twisted, bring the base machine back in close. Okay, here's the base model. I don't see any twisted panels, Richard. Yeah, I don't see any twisted panels, other than maybe this one that's popped up slightly, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. So this panel opens. This panel swings open. It's probably easier to do this with the pointer. Like this. This panel opens. This panel opens on the top, which is your engine cover. Probably impossible to see this on live, but you can see that the Cat logo is on the engine inside, or you can't see, but there is the Cat logo right here on the engine. That's a nice touch. This side, this panel opens like that. Another person says Diecast Masters should make more Kenwood trucks. They have quite the lineup of Kenwood trucks already. I think Christian says, Dad, can I get a few $100? B.R. Brown asks, what's my favorite Cat loader? My favorite Cat loader, if we're talking about the real world, is a 966F, because it's the only loader I've operated in real life, thanks to my uncle. If we're talking about the scale model world, it's probably the 994F. Thanks for your question. That's a good one. Okay, so enough with the opening panels. Let's go to the door. I know the door opens somehow on here. A lot of these doors are really, really tight fits, as is the case with this model. So we'll get him to open for us. Patience is a virtue. You know what? We're going to cheat. We are going to cheat. There we go. Haha. So we've got the door open. All right. So our door is open. We can put our operator figure in if you want. Conversely, you can take, as you saw me do to cheat, you can take the top portion of the protection cab guard off and drop them in that way if you want to do that. Now, tracks on here. Once you have it set up on site, you can extend them out. And as you saw, they're linked together. So as soon as you pull one side, the other side comes out as well. Just like that. All right. Now, I'm not going to screw this on, but this is where your screws would go. You're going to want to line this up like this. Perfect. Now again, you would put two screws here, one here and one here. Then you would drop your hydraulic line into the hole in the boom right there. And once you're screwed in, it will drop in. So that's how it would look. And again, once I do the actual review on this, I am going to go step by step. I will screw these in for you guys. But for live, I don't really think it's that necessary. So that's kind of what it looks like with the boom. Let's move this up. And this thing is stiff. We like stiff cylinders. That's a good thing. All right. So we've got this up now. So what's the excavator look like? So that's what the excavator would look like if it's pinned in that position. That doesn't look bad. That looks pretty darn good. Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all, actually. I might have to get another one of these just so I can have one permanently as an excavator and then permanently as a demolition machine. So as the instructions said, and as I've said, it's designed so that you can pin this, at least in the excavator, in one of two positions. So you can pin it here, or you can pin it up here. So you see these two holes? So option 1 or option 2. So I think this is called a cranked boom or something like that. Okay, let's get caught up on comments. Ah, man, it looks like I'm way behind here. They need to do a series where everyone wants it, but we cannot afford it. Well, CCM kind of does that. Can you get the Cincinnati 20 model? I'm not familiar with it. DM me on Instagram more details, please. Christian, also, what should I get to make a construction diorama? That's a loaded question. Whatever you want to get, man. There's tons of stuff. Use Google and Google construction diorama. That's a good place to start. Bill, I'm thinking the difference between the two demo attachments is one crushes the concrete and the other cuts the metal rebar beams. I would agree. Don't pull the tracks too hard. Don't ask me how I know this. Okay. Bira, did you overextend the tracks? Diecast Emporium, what should I get to make a construction diorama? Like I said, I would Google construction diorama, and that's a good place to start. Maybe pick up some ballast from like Woodland Scenics, which is your simulated dirt and such. And then, obviously, you want to find some 3D to scale accessories, which you can get from 3000 Toys, like some piping or really, there's too much out there. So whatever you decide you want to model, if you're doing some pipe work or building a house, there's stuff out there. All right, now let's figure out how this works. So I think this goes in like that. And how in the world does this sit on there? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like this? Perhaps? No. That's not the way it goes. I don't know. Well, it has 2 screw holes, so I'm assuming you probably need screws to lock that down. Once you have screws in it, this probably just sits over on top, probably like this. Yeah, that's probably how it goes. Nifty, nifty, nifty. I like this. This is very, very cool. So essentially you're getting 2 models in one. So to counter the argument of it's pricey, it is pricey. Like, it's very pricey. So, but again, you're getting a larger excavator and a demolition excavator all in one. So I can live with that. Where on the instructions? All right. So, yeah, so we need a chrome pin, a black screw, another chrome pin. Yeah, so we need a couple different connection points to make this stand. Interesting. All right. So, what do you guys think? You've had a chance to see it. Again, I haven't really assembled anything permanently. But overall, it's not bad. It's really not that bad at all. I don't think I missed anything. Lumber says he wants one of them. Well, as I said before, you can get them now. They, if I'm not mistaken, if they're not in stock, they're going to be very, very soon. Another person says they like it. Yeah, I'm impressed. I really, truly am. I was a little concerned before getting it how the connection points would work. I wasn't entirely sold on using screws. But you know, it is what it is. At least if you use screws, you know that it's not going to bleed down or potentially break off. So I'm not sure what else they could have done, honestly. Maybe pins, as we've seen on other models. But I don't know. That's really about the only negative thing I have to say about it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't like it just because it has the modern hex on it, which that's fine too. I get that. So, I guess that's it for comments and questions. So we will end this live stream. But first, we'll answer Christopher's question. I think Conrad made one of these. Yeah, Conrad, Universal Hobbies made a Komatsu one, but the Universal Hobbies one, if my memory serves me correct, didn't have the excavator portion. It just had the demolition boom. So thank you guys for tuning in to this quick live stream. I really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed answering your questions. Stay tuned over the next couple weeks as all of these reviews will be going live. The CT660 with the Ox dump bodies, 150 scale truck, just went live earlier today. So if you want to look at that, make sure you check out my channel. You can see a full-length review of that truck. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you in the next review.